on the streets anyway.
So these are some of our endorsers. As of December 5th, 2014, we have 136 running organizations working collaboratively in California and Oregon. Now it has grown because we do have Washington and Denver involved as well, so it has grown to 173.
So GM's
You
involved?
talking about the Red Arrest campaign then?
Yes.
Jim?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've always been
Up-to-date
associated
endorsement
with.
list and the endorsement form is on that RAP website that I've given, and if you did not get that, we can get that to you after the presentation if you would like it. So we are trying to organize around people and build a movement to tear down the walls of neglect and oppression that prevent everyone from having a home. We want to.
And to add this, I'm a patronage in my work that Right to Dream 2 is a rest area. And then this is a DVD that was selling for half our operational cost. And that DVD, when we did it, because people was able to sleep and build an eco community, grow their own vegetables and police themselves, 275 people got housed. 250 people found work. 17 women was able to keep their babies because we don't send them to hospitals. If a houseless woman go to the hospital, they obligated to call DHS and they come take their baby. So we send them to midwives. 45 people quit drugs because they didn't go out into the environment. They were able to stay somewhere safe. So we can't organize ourselves. We can't become productive if we allow and not be criminalized and not living on that.
And we've had 20 people complete schooling, either online or going to a school.
Right. So, I guess it's our question and answer. Okay, who wants to take stats? Who wants to take stats?
I'll get started.
Okay, John gets the stats.
Thank you. Since Amiano's gone, is there anyone carrying the bill now?
There was, yes, that was Senator Louis.
Who?
Louis?
Carol Lou.
Carol Louis.
Carol.
Sorry, Carol.
Thank you.
And our champion in Oregon is Senator Chip Shields.
Anyone else?
Do you know Washington?
I don't know who.
I'm from there, but I'm not.
Yeah, I don't know who. Washington just joined, so.
We're just working with some groups over there, not reach out officials.
So I have a few things, but I'm going to be really quick. Services. We have excellent services in Sonoma County. Homeless people tell us that. They're high-quality services. They don't even come close to taking care of people. So people will say, we do this, they do, but there's huge waiting lists. 4,000 people, we help 30. Great, we help 30. The difference between the fighting this federal need for money, we really see that, but I don't think it gets us off the hook for building houses locally. So we need $126 million to build enough houses in Sonoma County to do the homeless, and we're trying to find that money locally in the foundation. El Paso has...
We have this U.S. Social Forum, and we're trying to find solutions, but I don't see any government cooperation with what we're doing. And I think that is really a sad statement, because if they were truly trying to find a solution, they would try to be here with us to work with us and try to see what the real barriers are, and so that we know how to overcome those barriers, and then they can understand what the real struggle is, so that they can try to knock down the barriers themselves. One comment. The other comment was having to do with Downtown Street Team. I know a lot of people here don't know about Downtown Street Team, but basically what it is, it's a contract service that the city has contracted with to provide services to the homeless. But now what they do is that, yes, they have these meetings, they have people come to these meetings, and if you're homeless, you have to keep coming to these meetings to keep your name on the list. If you miss a meeting, you got taken off. You got to come back, and you're at the bottom, and every week you try to work yourself up to the top. So eventually, as there's an opening made in their crews, you have a chance to get into one of these crews. And you either work 3 days a week or you work 5 days a week, you get paid you're a volunteer, you're considered a volunteer, you get paid $5 in, per hour in gift cards. Now, the gift cards would be like at Safeway or Walmart, which are the ones that are harder to get. And I was part of that. I participated in that program, and I would always refuse the Safeway cards. And they said, well, why do you know, that's all we have. Why don't you use them? I said, well, a Walmart card, I can go and get clothing, or I can get food, or I can get, you know what, any kind of thing that I'm looking for. If I go to Safeway, I can't go in there and buy shoes. Okay, and if that's what I need, then that, and they said, well, why don't you trade them in for something, because they have this thing where you know, they have all these different things. I said, well, first of all, I'm not interested in Bass Outlet. I'm not interested in you know, macaroni grills. I'm not interested in any of those things that they're offering. I want something that I can use. So I think although it's an organization that attempts to help the homeless, I think they take advantage of them more than they actually help. And they, besides taking advantage of them in the wages, as she mentioned, there was only 5 people that have gone on the groundworks. They've had typically 75 to 80 people on their crews at any time. And if you're only able to get 5 people in a year into a program where basically they're training you on how to clean the streets, and they're not really training you on how to get the high-tech jobs. They're not training you on how to improve your life or anything like that. And I know that they've left people, after they get them housed, they just kind of forget about them and go on to someone else. And they've actually rehoused somebody into that same place because that person, being left alone, didn't get the services they needed and then were evicted from that home. They now put somebody else in that home, and then they click it one more time, like we housed another person. That person's out, we housed another person. They just keep doing that over and have inflated their numbers. Okay, so enough about that. The other thing I want to say is that I certainly appreciate everything that you guys are doing and everything that everyone else is doing in their part. We here in San Jose and Santa Clara County are fighting a vicious battle, and we're trying to educate people, the public, because that's really the clue on how to resolve this problem. Trying to organize the homeless themselves. Trying to organize the homeless that are in survival mode never have an opportunity to start working on their individual problems because they're constantly being chased from place to place.
Yes.
We found out that they are spending on average of $10,000 per sweep. And anyway, so that I'll stop right there because I want to give other people an
Can I
opportunity.
answer you? The thing with housing houseless people is that with houseless people, I was houseless till 5 years ago, are used to doing things on their own. So if you take them from that community and put them in the 4 wall, they either get claustrophobia or they get lonely from being outside. A sink break, so they jimmy rig. They're not used to filling out maintenance repair things. They're not used to going to stores and getting good food that they use because you live on the street, you don't have a oven in there. So they need to have, before you put a person off the street in the house, you need to have like a step thing, like apartment readiness, just how you fill out a maintenance. And we take people and take them shopping to get fresh vegetables to the farmer's market. Just how you should start feeding yourself again to get healthy. You should do walks, start riding the bike, do exercise and stuff. Like people are used, like again, people are used to looking for a safe place to stay. They're looking for a place to eat, and that consumes all of their time. Like, I like the social forum here, but we consume time walking from the center to here, 45 minutes to here. And just think person doing that every day, all day for their life. Okay.
I wanted to address something that he said also.
Just real quick.
second,
I gotta go down. Go ahead.
Just a quick statement and a question. I mean, the political will is just not there on the federal level. I think we all agree with it. So it has to be solved locally. So I really applaud what everybody's doing here. My question is, you said that a landlord can evict you just because they don't like you?
They call it
How
no
does that-
cause eviction. They
So
have that.
what does that mean? What is that? They find
That
somebody?
means that
I mean, they
you
just-
don't dress like me, and I'm evict you because I want somebody in my
You're from
apartment
another
that dress
country,
like
you
me.
didn't like
You mean that, and that's legal? They can evict
Yes,
you
it
because they
is.
don't like you?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they won't put that in there.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, come on.
Only to the right
But,
people.
yeah, they won't put it in there, but they can
cities
evict.
have protections, like San Francisco has a very, Berkeley, Oakland, San
not in San Jose.
And the protections are like, well, you could sue them, but how are you gonna get around to suing them if you're being evicted and your whole world is turned upside down? That's like,
And who are they gonna listen
Yeah.
to?
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you're telling us you must be
Right.
incompetent, blah, blah, blah.
Who else have it? I mean, there's a lot of
That's
them.
all our fans and now it's
I see.
So,
Okay. I totally support what you're doing and your homeless bill of rights. I know my group, Global Women's Strike and US Prostitutes Collective, we've signed on because we see,
we can't hear you.
we totally support the Bill of Rights. I'm from Global Women's Strike and US Prostitutes Collective, and we've signed on because, the way people are being criminalized for poverty is what's going on. Anybody who's poor these days, you just open season, go to prison. The prisons are full of homeless people, the welfare's being cut, there's no money, and people are starving, people digging in garbage cans. And, the priority is the market. That is the priority. Speculation on housing, how's the market doing, that's all they care about. They don't care about caring, people caring for each other, that's just irrelevant. They just eliminate whole sectors of us who are impoverished and poor. I'm really glad you're addressing poverty, because so few people are addressing poverty these days. That is the issue that needs to be addressed. And we have a petition that, not to take up time from your workshop, but we're calling for, as a women's organization, a living wage for mothers and other caregivers, because caregiving should be the priority in society. That we all care for each other, and that's where the money goes, into caring for people, and not this market values that dominate everything, housing, everything. So we hope you'll sign this petition, living wage for mothers and other caregivers, because it's asking for the priorities of society to be redirected to caring for people. And just on the question of drugs, I mean, nobody cares for movie stars and football players who are notorious for doing drugs. Who cares about them? Nobody's going to go chasing them and arresting them for doing drugs.
They didn't get all these nuance here.
So why are we focusing on homeless people? And frankly, if I was living on the streets, I'd probably turn to drugs, just to be able to sleep at night.
You have a hard job because when you said for prostitutes, did you say for prostitutes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Prostitutes. Yeah. Because when they get taken advantage of and they make a report to the police, they characterize enforcement.
As far as looking for political solutions, basically homeless people piss off conservatives and embarrass liberals, and they don't have money to bribe politicians. So the only thing that changes anything is getting mass movements going. And once your movement is picking up, all the politicians jumping around over you, pretending it's their idea in the first place. So that's what you got to do. Solutions Olympia. We started this thing called Quixote Village. It was a tent camp that eventually worked into where the church groups and local governments got together and built a bunch of little 200 square foot cabins surrounding a common area that has showers and laundry and internet access and all that stuff. And that is just, and there have been you guys were joking about studies, there have been studies and studies and studies. All of them invariably conclude that the cheapest, most effective way to deal with homelessness is to put people in homes. It's just there all over the place.
Or at least give them land. It always takes land. That's the first ingredient to anything.
Of all the foreclosure houses in this country, you can put every house this person
A person will build their own home. You just give it land and some governance, and you got it.
Go ahead.
Just a plug. So in San Jose, a group of us advocates, and we're working together for about a year, plus some new members of some more local organizations who have endorsed some of our political initiatives, are gathering on Monday at Grace Baptist Church, just down the street at 2 o'clock. We are contemplating putting together some sort of more formal organization, countywide, in order to combat the issues here at both the long-term building houses and the short term. What we have found from the politicians that we've dealt with is that they don't want to talk about any dollars going to any of the immediate suffering. And so, because that's sort of the federal attitude is do not put anything into camps or bathrooms or food or anything like that. Put it all into housing. As you say, then we don't have to find the money for housing. So it's just both ends against the middle. So what we're trying to do is look at how do we get the money that the government wants to put out and use that, but also maybe in the community we have some interfaith people. We have other organizations that are willing to put out money and find money, hopefully and volunteer their time to focus on the more immediate suffering. So that's what we're doing. Hopefully, long term, we contemplate being able to join RAP in some form from San Jose, and that's the good news.
What we do at Right to Survive and Right to Drink too, we don't ask for the government to give us money.
Yeah.
We sell paraphernalia, t-shirts that's made by the House of People. We sell bumper stickers. We do in-kind donations. We write grants. We do speaking engagements. If I do one, I get much. I have to pay my rent. I give the other half to the organization. And we teach micro businesses and stuff so people can open their own micro business, become productive. Because the government not gonna give you money to fight them. Yeah. So, but I learned that they will help you out if you can show proven statistics. And that's what this is, proven statistics. This is what's happening. You cannot argue statistics in reality. But if you can give us some ideas how we can get money from the government, I'm open. Wow.
Okay, yeah, I just want to touch on two things. Woman who was in the back that said the whole thing about the federal government, which sort of piggybacks on what you were sort of saying. What we got going here as a social forum, what I take from it is the fact that all the different ideas and conversations within the communities in which we go is addressed. And as much as we would love to have politicians and government officials where they have the interest of trying to knock down whatever we're talking about, it's better that we talk amongst each other where we understand what needs to be done so we can make the statistics and our charts and our scales resonate to a degree to where we can bring it not only to this community, but all the communities that are like this. So, yes, I would like to see the politicians get it, but it's dire important that we at least have that understanding amongst all the communities that we go to. What is the common denominator that no matter where you go, whether you're in California, New Jersey, Rhode Island, what is the common denominator that we can feed to? And then the second part about feeding to what you were saying about in terms of being helped and the celebrities having drugs and buying drugs and they don't get harassed is because we live in a society where they only teach you there's two sides, Democrat and Republican. You're either right or you're wrong. But the reality is there's three. And the three speaks to the fact that you have people that are exception to the rule. The three speaks to the whole scenario of, because your middle income, you got a different law. If you get caught with something in your hand that you're not supposed to have, as opposed to me, who I'm a homeless person, I don't have any money, and I do the same crime that the person who has a little bit more money or a lot bit, which would be the third, and it's different laws for them. But they only tell us that there's only two sets, like three, and 2/3. But reality is, it's 3/3, and that third, you're not supposed to know about. So that's what we're talking about when we talk about why does the celebrity get treated one way, and why does the person who does the same crime but don't have money get treated another way. And as people start to see that math come into the realization, the better it is that we have these conversations through the USS Forum and find out what problems that we have as communities so we can bring it together and put it on bills as a whole.
We have asked the politicians, the mayor, to come to Right to Drink, to come out to Daytonville, come even sleep on the sidewalk. They won't do it. But some supporters have, And they, once they sleep on the sidewalk, they see, like during the weekend, we call it entertainment weekend, because that's when everybody go to bars and stuff. And they see they the one that's trashing up the streets, getting drunk, knocking stuff over, breaking windows. You're not gonna break no glass and sleep on it. You know? So how do you think a homeless person gonna break glass on the streets and sleep on it? I mean, we houseless, not senseless.
We got time for maybe one more question. We're actually over time, but
I really appreciate the frame. A lot of the questions that come up for me have been sort of given a broader and better thinking. And I want to mention that there's a big move for rent control now in the central area of California, because the rents are, people are getting rent increases $300 a month. So we have found, and this is astonishing, that local politicians want to get out in front of this issue and be the one. So that's a big effort towards preventing homelessness, and it's one thing we might want to try to work on.
So we like to thank you all for coming out. If you might have any questions or anything, we still here. We got things to report out. We're gonna table it at the center.